The last presentation is by Miquel del Rio. Miquel was born in Barcelona and is since a long time living in Basel. He graduated from the Escola Técnica Superior de Arquitectura in Barcelona in 2009, and afterwards he worked for Herzog and Demeron until 2013, and then he founded Reich del Rio with Luis Reich, and afterwards Focketin del Rio in Basel, that won the competition for the transformation of the Kaserne in Basel, which is their most important projects till now, I think. And I'm not sure, last year or whenever you founded, or this year, so you founded MIDERI Architekten, MIDERI Miquel del Rio, so it's MIDERI, and in Basel, of course, and with satellite offices in Medellin and Barcelona.
In Barcelona, exactly.
So, okay.
I feel like you explained all my amorous life in this short description. So 10 years ago, we were with Hans Focketin, as you said, my previous partner in this building. During the competition, we didn't know that 10 years later we would be able to open it, a long process. What I liked the most about this project when I arrived, or about this building, was the ability that it had to change, to be resilient. No? It's a building that started as a kaserne, then became a school, then became several things. But what I didn't like is that all these several things were always representative uses. This is a building with a huge impact on the city, and wanted to make it a public building. In order to make it a public building, what we did is we studied a bit what happened around. So I think this courtyard is a perfect example of what it is. No? At the beginning, the courtyard was fenced, so the people could look inside but not enter, a perfect representation of power. And when the border was opened, you can see the people entered massively in it. No? So we knew open is one thing. On the other side, a very similar process was happening. This building, now you see a bit the presence of the city on the other side, 100 meters long and no doors to the river. The river at the time was a sewage, was the back part of the city, so nobody wanted to be there. So we were in the middle, disconnecting the two most important spaces from Basel, and we had to connect them. And what we said, an urban connection is never unique. An urban connection is always multiple. So what we did is we created a connection that is linked to neighborhood uses, a connection which is always open 24 hours, and a new connection that was not asked in the competition, that is an inside connection. When we talk about connection, it's difficult to understand that in fact we're talking of one whole floor of difference in between the two sides. So making this stair was one of the main important things of this connection. A stair which is not only a place to be, but also a place to pass, also a place to stay, as you can see on the benches. And it becomes also the main actor of what we call the plaza. This was a space that was not asked in the competition, as I said, but we said a building with such a strong presence on the city needs to be open, needs to put the people that are bathing in summer also in winter here. This is the plaza, has two levels. On one side we connect to the river, as we're seeing here, and on the other, on the Hof, and on the other side we connect to the river, as we see here. Here it's also easier to understand what we did. No, in fact, we see the old vault here that we had to cut. We see here the old slab that we cut, and we see also here the big opening that we did to the river. So at the end, this thing of opening the building has also a massive impact. No? And how did we do this? Well, at the end, the building is like the project is the building of 3 new buildings inside of the existing building. The old building was very clear, this long space, 100 meters long, the chambers in this direction, a very rigid structure. So what we did is we inserted 2 cores that solve all the circulations, and 1 big space, which is the one that you are seeing here, which creates a new scale of spaces. No? By creating this new scale, we were able to actualize the shape and to bring it into the new regulations. So you can see here the old plaza that we saw before, and here on top we built again a second public space, which was this one. This is the venue, and this was important, no? Because I'm talking all the time of a public building, not a public ground floor. So the idea is always to stretch the people, to bring them up, and to make them use these spaces. And then the other 2 buildings that we built inside of this building are the cores. The cores solve all the structure elements and all the infrastructure. And it's important to understand that even though this beautiful red beton with these curves might be appealing, in fact, all of it is structural. No? And this is also quite important for us in this building. The image is done by the performance. The performance gives the image. And what do we do inside? Well, we already saw the two elements of the public space, the two cores on the sides. The blue are all the project rooms. And then for me, what is important is these orange spots that scatter all the building. So the idea was, as I was saying before, to open up the building and to bring the people everywhere. Did it work? Well, we've been 6 months. By now, we're quite happy. It's always nice to see the building under life. There is on the opening, nice to see that the musicians understood where they had to be. And also, I like how the people are arranged around the stair. No? Even some people talk as we wanted them to do, and people look from above. Also, the venue turned to be super nice. In fact, the opening of the building was a concert. Festival, which is exactly what you want to do in such a building like that. One of the best acoustics, and I also like this image of almost underground image that we know that is on the second floor. No? And those are the offices. The offices in fact, they are just one of these old chambers that we were seeing before. We take the old materiality, we reconstruct it where needed, and we just put some installations. And what happens here is what we were saying, no? The building starts to have many lives. This is the first offices of many that will come. And then, apart from these institutional uses, what I was saying before, these neighborhood uses, no? There is the mosque. We made only the roba, only the structure, and they came and they put all these things, no? Which for me is also nice. It's like saying new things with or new words, new sentences with the old words that we had. And the other not institutional use, which is very cool to see, is the terrace. No? As we saw now, terraces in Basel start to be a topic, and it's really something that didn't exist before. No? This idea of seeing Basel from above and bringing the people really on top. And what happens when you go below? Well, it's very nice. No, this is the opening that we did. Also very nice to see how it blends with the existing. No? If I don't tell you, maybe you don't understand. But what happens is that this building, this new opening, puts the people around and creates new life on the ground floor. And on this floor, but also on the last floor. No? Those who can count know that it's my last image. I wanted to finish with this image because I think it explains very much what this process is about. No? On one side is this idea of creating something new which almost blends with the other. And on the other thing is creating this violence of opening. So the two things. One, transform public building, a representative building into a public building. And second, saying new sentences with old words. So thanks a lot.